Hey Cupcakes, Esther here. So I've been a little bit quiet the past couple weeks here on YouTube, also in the Mindful Tarot Facebook group, because I've been traveling. I was at a lay Zen teachers conference, and then I was on silent retreat, and it's been a very Zen-y time, also a time where I've been thinking a lot about the tarot and how the cards, for me, are what we call in Buddhism, a Dharma gate, an entry into the path of awakening. And nothing big, just, waking up, becoming more and more conscious, kinder, tender, more and more tender, tenderer, more open, more free. Anyway, one of the things that I've been thinking a lot about, and this is in preparation for a class I'll be teaching May 16th as a kind of one-off class, but part of an evolving set of interests for me. I've been thinking a lot about the tarot as archetypal and thinking about the 78 cards, the icons that make up this mandala of tarot as archetypes, as embodying archetypes. An archetype in itself is something that is beyond a material manifestation. That's why it is an archetype. It's a constellation of imagination and thought and heart and psyche that we embody in different forms and that have different instantiations, different pieces, different parts, different symbolic contents. So strictly speaking, I've been thinking about the way in which any given tarot deck embodies in the 78 cards, 78 archetypal images, 78 representations of archetypes. But what the heck is an archetype? Why am I even invoking that term? That's what I'm going to be talking about more in the class, and that's what I've been exploring in different ways of late. I wanted, as preparation to that class and to thinking about archetype and tarot more broadly, to come back to a method of approaching a given deck that I come back to again. I mean, it's probably the most common way day to day that I work with a deck. And that is this practice that I call the deck dialogue, where I am in a kind of loose way posing a question to a deck, pulling a card, understanding what that card is saying, reframing my understanding in the form of another question, pulling another card from the deck, seeing what that card is saying, paraphrasing it back to the deck, and so on and so forth until I feel like I reach a kind of bottom, a kind of, okay, we've gotten somewhere that feels like a floor, like a ground. We can stop here. We can rest here for now. The reason that the deck dialogue seems for me tied in to this notion of archetype is because in the deck dialogue, I am responding to each card and relating to the deck at a interpersonal kind of level. I am relating to each card as if it is the face and utterance of a beloved or of a friend or of a companion. There is a way in which my reading of each card and of the series of cards as a whole is less like a kind of deciphering of a hidden message and more like a kind of ongoing, intimate encounter with an other, or with a series of others, or a series of the presentation of different faces of the same other. Now, if this sounds kind of abstract and woo-woo and goofy, well, yeah, I guess it kind of is. And in part, I want to explore this material in this video today to kind of hone how I talk about it. And then in part, I also want to invite us all to enter into this gooey, kind of a little bit woo-woo, a little bit abstract kind of approach. So without further ado, I'm going to flip the camera over and I'm going to do a little deck dialogue with a deck that's new to me, which is Gabby Angus West's 2012 Bonefire Tarot. This is a modified version of the deck. I love this. I love her art. I have wanted this deck for a while. I've kind of resisted getting it, and then this modified copy has made its way to me, and I really, really like it, but I haven't worked with it yet. I've pulled 2 cards for my husband, but I have not read with this deck for myself. So I'm going to do a little deck dialogue and demonstrate this method, which will be familiar to those of you who are not new to this channel from other videos. And then I also want to invite folks to do some deck dialoguing with me over the next few weeks between now and when I offer my Archetypes of Tarot class on May 16th. And I'm filming this in 2023, so it's that May 16th, May 16th, 2023. Okay, let's flip this camera around. So the thing about the deck dialogue is that our starting point is just an open question. Something as simple as, what is it that you want to tell me? The King of Wands. Are you pointing me to, now I'm going to kind of paraphrase my understanding of this and elicit more information. And my goal here is really, right, my goal here is to not to try to decipher the meaning of the card, but to relate to it like it's the expression of an individual, of a unique and distinct and integritous, like complete individual, presenting their full self to me. So in this case, okay, King of Wands, are you saying that you're wanting to show me my own mastery of a certain kind of life force? I'm always drawn in this deck by the image of the pineapples. So I am going to call out a specific detail. Are you pointing me toward a kind of juicy vibrancy in myself that I can actually command? Is that what you want me to know? Okay, 7 of coins. Is there a caution in this? Are you saying that this juicy vibrancy is something that needs to gestate and evolve? The 7 of Pentacles is actually my hub card for this year. So are you showing me Bonefire Tarot? Are you wanting me to see the ways in which I need to linger and be willing for things to grow? On the Zen retreat that I was just on, one of the prevailing images was the image, because we just had the Buddha's birthday. It was actually a Buddha's birthday celebration. You know, this past week was Easter and Passover and the Buddha's birthday, at least as it's celebrated within Zen Buddhism. So it's like all of this birthing and rising and liberating energy. And are you saying, we were talking in this retreat, or the teachings were all about the mother of the Buddha, Mahamaya, you know, and what it is to carry a future awakened being in your very belly. And are you saying, okay, yes, this fire, but how to let it gestate, how to allow myself to step by step, rung by rung, move toward the harvest? Are you wanting to teach me something about a kind of fieriness and also kind of holy patience? Oh, okay. Something here about how to, in developing that patience, how to see through, how to be with my own anxiety and fear and concern. This is quite an amazing depiction of the 9 of Swords, isn't it? This is a card that I got as a talisman card last week. How do I look at her eye? It's just emptiness where the eyes might be. How do I really see through the lens of my own impatience, my own anxiety, my own desire for change? Is that what, whoops, sorry, knocking into my tripod here. Is that what you're wanting me to be able to ultimately to work with and linger with my anxiety? Oh, or to somehow find the spiritual path in spite of my anxiety? Side note, these images are so freaking lush. So how do I move forward? Is that what's at stake here? Is that what's at stake here? How do I move forward? Yes. Yes, very much. So this card feels like very much yes, this King of Cups, you know, sort of it feels like a bit of a restatement of the King of Wands that we began with. So in this deck dialoguing, I'm looking for echoes in the way that echoes can confirm. In this particular image, again, calling out a detail, this sort of, this heart that looks a little bit like a yin-yang symbol. The King of Cups, yeah. How do I exist within the world of emotion, the depths, the watery depths of soul? Is that what you're helping me see? Am I on the right track here? Is your activity in my life right now, Bonefire Tarot, is your activity in my life about helping me embody the King of Cups, which entails a kind of gestational willingness, a kind of lingering with my anxiety. This is not the first time that the tarot, the mandala of cards, is calling out my anxiety as a central feature. And this spiritual yearning, this seeking, this ability to find the higher ground. You're linking this to the emergence of myself as King of Cups. Is that what's at stake here? What you're helping me see? And I'm feeling like I need to pull the bottom and the top card. This is the bottom card. Yeah. And this is the top card. Wow. 5 and 6 of Swords. So working with my own sense of violence and cruelty in a world of suffering, a world of conflict, and releasing from that world. This seems to me about just the fullness of my own human life. There's that yin-yang again. My own swordsiness, which sees conflict and tension and suffering and is charting a path into harmony and peace. You are my vessel here, like this boat, like this cup. Are you my vessel in this work? Is that what you're saying? One last, I think I'm at the end here. One last card pull, I think. You are my vessel. Is that how you're identifying your role in my life? Bonefire Tarot is my vessel. Huh. Ace of Coins. As my resource, perhaps. As my jewel. A jewel that reflects all the facets of this human life. Okay. You are my jewel. This is the archetype that is kind of central to this moment for me. I think there's been calling out of strong swordsy, the archetype of the swords, conflict, division, anxiety, as well as this lingering patience, the spiritual journey, and where we started, which was a kind of magisterial sense of energy and urgency and fire. This is a deck dialogue, okay? It has taken me through a kind of journey of getting to know this deck better, doing my first reading for it, finding its vision of itself, actually, as it turns out, the Ace of Coins, and its vision of me, the King of Cups. So it's functioning a little bit like a deck interview. But the thing about the deck dialogue is it isn't just about first getting to know a deck. It's actually just about relating to the deck as a collection of 78 good friends, 78 good teachers, 78 archetypes composing this mandala that is aiming to usher me into greater wholeness and awakening. All right. Stay tuned for more deck dialogues. If you're on the website, the Nine of Cups reminds us of abundance and life and fullness. If you're on the website, the Facebook page, Mindful Tarot, inviting you to post any insights you get from deck dialoguing over the next month or so. And then May 16th, if you're interested, stay tuned. Get on my mailing list if you like. Drop me a line for the Archetypes of Tarot one-off class. It'll be a 2-hour class on Sunday the 16th. Toodaloo.